Michaela, how disappointing was it to let that lead slip on the weekend?
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you lead for 50, 60 minutes of the game, and we felt like we were on top of the game for majority of it too, so it is frustrating, and especially being part of that defensive line, you do everything you can to kind of keep that clean sheet and keep that lead, but it was just one little lapse of focus, I think, from a few of us, and and they took their chance, which credit to them, but we obviously needed to take more chances and to stay in focus for that full 90.
Yeah, I guess you can still finish without the wooden spoon. Probably might need to beat Newcastle, but you'll have to probably get a positive result against another team somewhere else. Where do you think you can get that result, and can it be against Sydney this weekend? Yeah,
we're going into it full steam ahead, kind of, especially coming off 2 weeks ago playing them and feeling really positive with our performance, and obviously we felt like we could have got a point out of it, and potentially even 3 points if we just kind of finish some of our opportunities, which I know we've been talking about most of the season, but we're creating more of those positive opportunities now, and it's just about taking them. And we know Sydney are strong, and they've just come off a really good win too, but and we've come off a positive performance, so I know both teams will go in firing, but we definitely think we can get some points there.
Yeah, and we saw you set up another goal for Marisa. Has that, we've spoken a lot about your set piece ability, but did you think like this was going to be a weapon that would work in the A-League? Like, is this something that you've always been able to sort of set up goals from set piece before?
I think it is like one of my assets, and something I've worked on a lot, and obviously coming into this team I wasn't sure how much use they would be, or if we'd be using them a lot, but we've noticed that they are kind of doing their job, and to have people like Marisa who can get on the end of it and kind of finish is a key part of it too, and it's not all about the delivery, it's also about that finish too.
Yeah, because I guess you had that one with the football ferns where you're lining up the free kick where you're thinking like, oh, this could be my moment to be the hero here.
Yeah, definitely. You kind of dream of those moments a little bit, especially, well, I guess not really on your second cap for the team, and kind of came a little bit out of the blue, but when I heard Maney kind of yelling at me to go up and take the free kick, I took the opportunity and just went through the motions that I always do, and try not to think about the occasion too much, kind of just to do the job. And obviously it wasn't a perfect outcome, but to kind of be able to take that opportunity and even just enjoy that moment was pretty cool.
Yeah, and are you still sort of buzzing about how the season's gone? Because it wasn't that long ago you were playing in the National League, and probably wondering, where football was going to take you from there. But you've been one of the Phoenix best players, and you've got some football ferns experience now, and you've got a lot of people backing you to make the World Cup as well. Like, is there a bit of a pinch me moment about how it's all sort of played out in the last 6 months?
Oh, for sure, definitely. It's been quite an uphill career just the last 6 months even, and it's gone pretty quickly, and it's hard to kind of take time to reflect on it sometimes. But after the Ferns, it was obviously I was excited, and emotions were quite high from that, and I wasn't really thinking about the World Cup too much, and I've always kind of said I'm just one step at a time, and week by week kind of focus on each game, and especially coming back here from the Ferns, just kind of take what I learned from there and try bring it into this team and continue to grow as a player week in, week out. But yeah, I think it's important to reflect, and extremely proud of kind of what I've achieved so far, but I know I've got a long way to go, and I think the Phoenix are helping me kind of achieve those moments.
Because was there any point where you thought, you may never become a professional player, if you hadn't have got this Phoenix contract, what would a football sort of look like for you at the moment?
I'm quite an optimistic person, I think, so if the Phoenix didn't happen, I was potentially open to kind of looking elsewhere, whatever that would look like. I wasn't really sure too much, but when the Phoenix did happen, it's kind of the stepping stone for me, and National League kind of helped me with that, and coming back from America, I know I've talked about that a bit, but it's kind of helped me get to here, and I've always kind of wanted to get to this level, so this is an amazing achievement in itself.
Because you've captained New Zealand at under 17 level, went over to the States. Were you on the Football Ferns radar at any point when you were in the States? Because I know there was that series where a lot of players from colleges got picked. I don't know whether you had heard from New Zealand football, whether you were in consideration then. Like, is it all really just happened in the last 6 months, or had you been sort of on the radar or what?
I'd had I think 1 or 2 chats with Yitka, just kind of more check-ins to see kind of how things were going and where I was at. But it was cool to see people in college kind of getting that opportunity, and I know it wasn't my time at that point, but I knew it was kind of doable, and for them to do it kind of made it a little bit more reachable in my mind. Yeah.
It's been, I guess, a whirlwind 6 months for you, not just on the field, but off the field too. I guess you must just be really enjoying this transition in your life and how everything's going for you.
Yeah, it's been, like you said, a pretty hectic kind of six months, but it's been pretty cool, and to share it with friends and family has been awesome, and the transition to come to Wellington's been easy, and have family here who live here, which has been quite nice to be closer to them too. But it's been kind of slipped into the team quite easily and felt comfortable, and just enjoying every moment of it.
Because you got engaged late last year, is that right?
Yeah.
So you've had that, you've had things with Phoenix going well, you get your first Football Ferns contract. I mean, you must have pinch me moments, really.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, just kind of taking moments to reflect on everything is important, because you can kind of get lost in the moment a lot of the times. But just kind of reminding myself to enjoy things too, and especially in professional environments and international environments, it's high pressure, so it's kind of, you're working amongst that all the time, so I try to step away from it sometimes and just enjoy it.
And what sort of combos did you have with your kid? Does like a World Cup berth feel tangible?
Yeah, like after kind of being amongst that camp for the first time, it does make it feel a little bit reachable. Whether it happens or not, I know that I maybe am in the talks for it with Yitka, and she was happy with the outcome for me in that camp, just even off the field. Just she knew I went in just wanting to learn more and kind of grow and see what that environment was like, and I think I made the most of that, which was cool. And I'll obviously push for it, but I know this is kind of the beginning of my career as well, so there's other opportunities that might come later in the future.
I appreciate too, last weekend with everything happening with your dad, how did you sort of have to block that out? How did you cope and manage with that on the field? Yeah,
like obviously it's tough for not just him but for our whole family, and you kind of see stuff and hear things, but especially with Fern, like making the Ferns, he was at all 3 games, which was pretty cool, and he was just a dad supporting with, and my mum was in the crowd and all 3 games, so I think that was quite a nice break for him in a way, a little bit too, and just got to enjoy just being a dad and kind of watching some football, and try not to give me too much advice, which is nice, but yeah, so no, he's handled it extremely well, which has kind of helped me not focus on it too much, and he's in a good place now, and he's focused on what this year has to come, and we're all excited for him.
What's helping your footy click, I guess, I suppose? Like what are you doing differently, or are you doing anything differently? I guess what's helping you sort of reach those higher levels? Yeah,
I think I'd say the people around me are probably helping kind of get me to that next level and to push me, and the environment here has obviously developed me as a player quite quickly already, and settled into the ALeague quite nicely, and we talk about the people I play around, like they're always supportive, and try to be supportive for them too, and Nat and the coaching staff have obviously seen my potential and kind of are helping me realise that too. So, yeah.
Was your dad worried Everton are going to get relegated?
Yeah, definitely. It's alright, I'm happy because Liverpool obviously smashed Man United, so I don't really care about Everton right now. But yeah.
Cool.